Good Friday afternoon.
Hey,
How you doing?
Hey,
Evening?
still alive? Yeah.
Still alive?
Still
Doing
with
good?
everybody. Yeah.
How's everybody doing this week? It feels like
Good.
It feels like Friday. Yeah, okay, that's fine. While Victor's stepping away. I'm Darren. Victor is normally over there, but he's walking away. And we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. That comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays when we're around, he's shedding clothes.
Yes.
We do
I was
this.
wearing a sweater with a logo of a group that I'm kicked out, so I'm not sure whether I'm legally allowed to do that.
Okay, fair
On
enough.
camera. I probably am, but there you go.
It's fine. We can trim all that out. Or maybe not. And we do things on Friday to talk about news of the week. But again, there's no news. I did find one app that looks interesting. And then a second app where we're actually going to do an installation and a configuration for an AI code editor called Windsurf, which I heard about this week. I probably should have heard about it before now, but I have been so risk averse to doing any AI stuff. And I got into this and was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Because there's a truly free forever option, which nobody else seems to have. Or at least that's the way I read it.
Free forever is free forever until it stops being free forever.
Exactly. Yeah. But all the other ones I've looked at is there's either pay up front or there's a trial that will time out after 2 weeks. This one doesn't have that. So
Yeah, I hate those. I prefer being limited, kind of limit what I can do.
yeah.
So that I check it on my own time.
Yeah. Karen, good to see you. Jude, Luis. This may be a short show again today. I think it'll be a little bit longer than what we did with Ghosty last week, which was actually pretty fun. I've been using it all week as I think I messed up one time and brought up iTerm, but that was it. I've just been using Ghosty.
Do you still dislike the font?
I do still dislike the font, or at least the burned in, the default font, the JetBrains Mono. I mean, it's
You
fine.
can change it.
Yeah, I can change it, but I just haven't taken the time to go through and do that.
In other words, it doesn't bother you that much.
To do it, yeah, to make the change, just because I'm usually in and out. I'm not living in the terminal, but I'm in and out of the terminal a lot, if that makes any kind of sense. Let's go and take a look at this so then we can get to Windsurf. This week's episode, hey, I'm wearing the same shirt as I was in that shot, but you're not. Or maybe you
New
are.
logos, new thumbnails.
New thumbnails. I'm trying new thumbnails. I'm just Canva is your friend. I'm almost at the point to handing it off to my wife and just let her do it, just because I'm not good at it. Tools
Can you
versus
say
culture.
something without you being offended?
I can always, yeah,
She cannot do it worse than you.
exactly.
So
that doesn't bother me
worst
at
case
all.
scenario can be just as good.
Yeah, that's not offensive to me at all. I just have to come up with titles, and that's the problem. And it's like I just need to come up with titles before I start editing, and then she can. Because there's really no reason why I can't do that now. Anyway, tools versus culture. We were talking about should tools drive culture? Should culture drive tools? Or are we wrong on both cases? So that came out this week. That was 298. We're coming up close to our 300th episode. We've already recorded it. We're speaking with Patrick Dubois again. It was an interesting episode that only Patrick can do. So that's coming out in 2 weeks.
The cool thing about speaking with Patrick is that after talking with him, you can say to yourself, okay, so that's what I will be doing a few years from now.
Exactly. In about 3 to 5 years, what he's talking about is what will be reality. So that was the podcast for this week. The one tool I found this week, and I'm talking, I just found it this morning, Gitxray. We are not going to try this live. Why? It's a security tool, and I don't want to run it against a repository and find something while we're doing it live. But it uses the GitHub API to do forensics and all the other stuff. So unfortunately it is Python, but I don't think that really matters for what it is.
Do you care as a user?
No. I care because I don't like having Python installed on my machine, so therefore I have to spin up a dev box to have Python in it so I can do the install.
Wait. Are you saying that you removed Python from your Mac? Isn't it installed there by default?
It is installed by default, but
Eh.
yeah, okay, whatever. I don't like installing Python applications naked on the machine, just like I don't like installing a lot of things naked on the machine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's my beef. But anyway, let's get Gitxray, the features. Let's talk about it. Takes you through, gives you a nice report. So the key part of this is unintended disclosures and contributor profiles. This is one that was interesting to me. Spotting shared, co-owned, or fake contributors. That's the one that sounds interesting to me. Is how can we find those?
Yeah. Oh, that's so. At least that feature is more geared towards open source, right?
Yeah. You would hope so.
Yeah. If you see fake contributors in your own organization in private repos, then you have a serious problem. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably more important for the latter case that we're joking about, but yeah. But anyway, it goes through all these different features. So it's pretty interesting. It X-rays GitHub workflows, if you're using those.
What's the PR rejection award?
I don't know. Let's see. The ability to list a top 3 of GitHub accounts that have tried to submit PRs to the repository, which ended up closed and not merged. In certain emotional scenarios, this could be paraphrased as rejected PRs. Interesting.
Okay. Basically, it's people who started something, potentially wasted somebody's time without finishing that something.
Yeah, or let's say that, okay, I'll use something real. I'm putting in PRs to a Jenkins plugin in a repository that I'm not a maintainer in. But the maintainers don't know who I am. Right? Not that I'm a big deal in Jenkins, but there's infrastructure pieces that I do, and which is fair enough, right? And if I put in a bunch and then they just sit there or they just get closed, right? At least you'd see, oh, who is this, right? And it could. So, to me, it's not a negative to me at all. I think it's a bigger deal of should this person be a contributor or not. Awesome. Fake starring. What's the other things? Lots of email addresses, profiling data, blah blah blah. So this looks pretty interesting to me. Just a nice little tool.
Yeah.
I will load it up and test it out, but I am not going to do it live. I don't want to find bad things. And we do it live.
What we can do it next week against my org, because VFarsec is all public, kind of.
That's true.
Whatever you find cannot. I mean, it's already public.
You don't care. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so that'll be next week. Again, I just found it a couple hours ago, and I've been buried in work. But you were creating CLIs in Nushell? Why? Why aren't you just doing it the real way?
I love it. It's just Nushell is my thing. It's one of my favorite things. I love it. I'm in love with it. It's amazing.
Do you love it?
I literally use it every day.
Okay, why did you move to Nushell? What made you make that jump finally?
Okay, so
do you remember?
Bash is just too silly to do anything beyond 20 lines, right? I use Bash all the time. Bash is great. It just, it gets too messy very, very quickly. And using a programming language like Go is just too much boilerplate code, right? To execute a single command in Go, you probably need like 5-6 lines, right? And that's just too much work for me. So I like this. I like using a programming language, but the language that is capable of executing things without fluff. So I want Bash style execution of other binaries, but within a programming language, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is that I really love that it treats everything as data, right? And when I say data, I mean structured data, not text output, not just plain text. That because I often execute something and then pipe that to something else, and that something else does something, and so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of piping involved, and having data in those pipes is just amazing to me. And now this is compared to Bash, not to something like Go.
Right.
one of the things I like the most is that it compiles. When I say compiles, I don't mean to binary, but it compiles every time it executes. So let's say that I have a very big script. I mean, very big. Let's say 1,000 lines. And if you have it in, let's say that on 900th line, you made a mistake. When will you find it out in Bash? When that 900th line is executed, right? In Nushell, it will not run. It will compile, and before it runs, it will throw an error and say, you cannot do this. This variable, for example, does not exist. How often did it happen to you, Darin, that you use some variable, let's say environment variable, that just is mistyped?
Quite a few
Right?
times. Yeah.
And this tells you immediately because it treats it as a programming language. Just like in Go, you cannot use a variable that is not defined, right? So it's a combination of something in between a real programming language and Bash. And I find that middle ground very, very good.
Well, good. So, Nushell. So I guess I need to watch this video because I haven't watched it this
One
week.
thing I will say is that some of the comments on Nushell forced me to very soon dig deep into PowerShell because everybody's comparing it with PowerShell, and I haven't used PowerShell for many years. And back when I used it, it was only Windows. And I couldn't get over the fact that it's only Windows, so I just discarded it. Right now, everybody tells me, "Oh, this is like PowerShell, right?" And PowerShell works everywhere. So I need to refresh, probably use it for a month or two, and then generate some opinions.
It just feels wrong, though.
Huh?
It just feels wrong.
It does, and that's my reaction. That was my reaction to first, maybe second, maybe third comment. But I got like dozens of comments. Hey, this is PowerShell, right? Now I did spend few minutes in the docs, literally only few minutes, and immediately freaked out that go to the docs where something is executed.
Probably learning 101.
Yeah, somewhere, I don't know.
Getting started.
Anything, right?
Okay.
Go, down. Go to the first command, right?
How to launch.
It will be, there
Like
will
this.
be a command somewhere.
Right here. This one right here.
Okay.
Small.
Yeah. Stop with capital S, service capital S. Freaks me out. And I know it's stupid. I know that probably people don't care, but I'm a Linux person. My brain is rejecting this. And I was told that you don't have to capitalize it, right? But still, my eyes have problem looking at the documentation here.
Yeah.
And I completely recognize that what I'm saying is stupid. Kind of, hey, it's just one convention over the other, right? Kind of like it's not that one is better than the other. Just I'm not used to it.
Yeah. But it just feels wrong.
It feels wrong.
Feels wrong.
But feels wrong because we both come from Linux world, right? Or Nix world, Unix world, whatever, right? Kind of. I put Mac in the same category there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, PowerShell. Ugh. Okay. Let's look here real quick because I'm curious. PowerShell for every system. Ooh.
It's supposed to run everywhere.
I know. I mean, you can install it via Brew, so there's no reason why I can't install it. It just feels so wrong.
Maybe you can send me. Maybe we can go through it in
We'll
one
do it
of
live.
the Fridays. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Anyway, let's not do that today because we're going to talk about Codeium today. So I heard about this. I was reading somebody's tweet that had been using Cursor and then had flipped over to Windsurf from Codeium. And I was like, okay, I've heard of Cursor, but haven't played with it. So I looked at the pricing on Cursor. Actually, I'll pull it up here real quick because I don't want to miss cursor.com. And I'll go to pricing. There we go. Okay, so free. The way I read it is you get Pro 2-week trial, then you get 2,000 completions and 50 slow premium requests. But there's no monthly here. There's no, like, it doesn't make sense. I haven't tried Cursor, so anybody from Cursor that might be watching this later, I'm just reading this. Whereas when I compare it against Windsurf, if I take a look at individuals, which they do, this is nice here, individuals and orgs. Let's make sure I didn't mess that up too. No, they just have monthly and yearly. Then here it says $0 per month forever. Okay, again, we talk about forever. But you get a trial gift of download.
Like Terraform is open source forever, right?
Right. But here you get some credits, but then blah, 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 right? But then you get access to the Cascade base model. Cascade is their model, but we'll look at that in a minute. And then you get all the free base features. Now, we're just going to get into it because if you haven't tried it, it's actually pretty interesting. You can download it. Okay, great. It says I'm there. I don't want to do that download because what I found was they didn't actually document it or I didn't find it. But if you go out to brew, somebody's already written a Windsurf. I couldn't remember. Yeah, it was a cask. So I'm going to do that. So now what I'm going to do, let me switch out the screens here real quick. And I'm going to go, what am I going to do? I'm going to do full screen. Let's do that. And we'll do that screen. Okay. And share that. All right. So there's Ghosty. Yes, I know that's really small. Blow that up. So that's still the thing. You see how that goes completely nuts and then it finally comes back? That's just some weirdness in Ghosty. Okay, so Windsurf is opening. Blah, blah, blah. Wait for it for a second. Now, again, I've installed it. Not on this machine. I'm installing it on a machine that's behind me. That's where I tried it out. Okay. Mm-hmm. So here I'm in a Jenkins plugin repository. That's just up to date. It just, we'll take a look at it. And then just like how you do with code.
Make it full screen if you're going to be.
Well, no, it's
terminal.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Well, I want to show this first. So if you're on the terminal, just like how you can do with code, you can do Windsurf because it's basically VS Code.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so it does that, then it opens up to there. Yes, I trust the authors, and get started. Okay, yeah, all right. So now let me go ahead and switch back just to the app because there's no reason to show the rest of that. Share screen, window, that one. Okay. And then, there we go. All right. So get started. And I'm actually going to size this for myself. It won't look any different for you, hopefully. A little bit. Okay, good. Get started. So you have to go through this process. You can import from VS Code. You can start fresh. And then add to path. I would say add to path at least. I'm starting fresh. Choose the key bindings. I'm just going to stay with VS Code. I'm going to stay with dark. Then you have to sign up. This is my one beef, but I understand why.
It's a service. It's SaaS.
Yeah, it's a SaaS. Right. So I'm going to log in.
And let's face it, I'm guessing it's not going to be a model running on your machine, right?
Correct.
So, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you need to sign.
Yep. And I'm using a Google login so that I went off screen and came back. So that's just how I set it up. You can set up a specific login and password, but I just went with Google. That was good enough for me. All right. So I'm installing this pack again because I haven't done this at all. I typically do a different pack, but whatever. Okay. So anyway, here's the key part to this. While that extension is loading. This is everything. It's Cascade. So this is similar to what I saw with Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Right? They open up a panel to the right. But here's where you can choose the models you want to use. Now, I'm still within my 2-week period, so I could use GPT-4o, I could use Sonnet, or I can use the base. Now, I'm just going to use base just to see how it works.
Those are their models provided by them, not
provided by them.
Or your account.
This is provided by, this is me installing fresh, and this is them providing it to me.
Very cool.
And again, I don't feel bad because I'm using a completely open source project right now. That's a completely open source repository. Yep. So I'm not sharing anything here that I wouldn't. So you can actually chat with it. You can write, and then whatever the dot is, legacy, which we're not going to do. So I'm going to stay and write. The only thing I've done here is changing my base model to Cascade. That's it. All right, that's all loaded up. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the code. So And again, I know that Victor is going to throw me under the bus here a little bit. That's okay. That looks okay.
Okay,
Right.
what did they do now?
Nothing yet. You're getting ready to. Okay, so what's interesting to me is about the refactoring. If I can find the point, because I looked at this project the other day, and I don't see it telling me problems. Okay. So there was a thing with this, if I can find it again. Why is it not showing up? Oh, okay. Yeah, here's a case. So this exception is like a potential null pointer. The variable may be null at this location, right? We're used to see, if you used VS Code with the Java extension, you've seen stuff like this.
Yeah.
Victor, I'm assuming with Go, you're going to see variations of this, right?
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're used to seeing view problem and quick fix, right? These two options. But here we've got Windsurf.
So
And it
the
says
quick fix
explain-
is probably from Copilot or
No, the quick fix is just built into the
VS Code.
to the Java extension with VS Code.
Yeah.
But here now we've got the doggone it. We have Windsurf explain and fix problems. Now let's watch the right hand screen. So explain this problem and help me fix it. So then it takes whatever the problem was, starts taking you through everything, and it starts analyzing everything. Now right now, it's making the change. Now whether this is right or not, don't know yet. I'm fine with that. Notice how it did it inline, and then it's decided to go ahead and make it braced. And then I could actually go ahead and build it now too, but I'm not going to do that. So
Nice.
could the exception be a null? Well, it could be, right? Because if it didn't get caught here, there could be an exception down here. This is just being extreme to me. I thought, and then if you want to navigate issues, this was sort of a strange one. So I could accept things singularly, or up here at the top, it's a little hard to see. You can see accept all changes or reject all changes. And I can, like I said, I can go through here. This is, I think, accept. And this is also the accept all. This is reject all. Toggle the panel. So the panel is driven by also Command L, in my case, since I'm on a Mac. But the thing that's interesting here is it just takes you through everything. It's like the warning indicates there's a potential null pointer in the parse time method. Yes. Of the class. Yes, that's that class. To address this issue, we should first examine the relevant code around line 104. Okay, 104, which is where the initial one was. And then it starts checking. I mean,
Does it look okay?
it's fine. I don't know that I would accept
Kevin's
this.
been working in Java for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know that I would accept it, but it's reasonable to me. I would need to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the amount of context it created from this, based only on this one prompt, and the prompt is really, explain what this problem is and help me fix it. That's the prompt, and then it fed in the context of what the error was from the, from what was coming in from VS Code, effectively. And then it did everything. It gave me all this.
This is a glimpse into the future in a way, where we are moving towards being reviewers, rather than doers, right?
Right. Well, this is a refactor scenario, right? I see something pop up in the
but it could be, I guess, you could have written, hey, write a function that does this or that, whatever, right? And then you would actually focus more on reviewing the changes.
Correct.
As if a junior did it and you're the person who actually reviews the PR.
Correct. But this is pre-PR.
Yeah, when I say
Right,
PR, simply
I know.
because assuming the junior is not sitting on your lap, right? Not in the same room, yeah.
Exactly. So, and then another one that's always a pain to me that I've never understood, ever since generic showed up in Java, there's this job as a raw type. References to generic, blah, 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 should be parameterized. What in the heck does that even mean? Right? Here's this job. So let's do the same thing with this. Again, I'm not going to accept it, but just to show that, it's explaining It's just a warning. So what? No big deal. But then it goes through and does all the things that's necessary in order to clean that up. So you don't get... I think it's cool from that perspective.
Does it also have IntelliSense? Does it help you while writing code or?
That's a good question. I haven't tried that yet. So let's try that. Let's say, well, I wonder if, okay, let's go the other direction. I'm going to reject all these changes.
I don't know even how would you know whether.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it is.
Would be IntelliSense or that thingy.
Yeah. So we have chat, which I haven't tried. When write mode is turned on, Cascade will make the changes to your code. Oh, you can just do chat. Oh, that's nice. So if you do write, it actually makes the changes. Why would you not want that to be your default? I mean, I guess if it's too much, but chat. So if I wanted to do this, so what would be a question I would want to ask? Actually, let's go back to that other class. Are there any null issues in the, I want to see if this works, open tab.
I'm guessing that it actually assumes that the tab is the context unless you highlighted something.
Yeah. I hope you add a null check to the do default check. Would you like to proceed with that? Okay, sure, yes. And does it go into?
So basically now it's switched, as if it switched to right?
Correct. But it didn't actually put it in for me.
Okay, I see it. It's over there. You can copy or insert.
Or let's try, so copy makes sense, but let's see what insert actually does. Okay, did it wrong, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. That's still pretty cool.
That's why you still need to review it.
Yeah. Oh, I see why. Because I didn't put it in the right place. Because of where the cursor was.
But that's kind of silly. I would assume that it would keep track of what it refers to.
Well, it told me to where it was trying to do it, which I wasn't even paying attention to. But so the one thing I wanted to try with you, I wonder, let's try this for a second. I'm going to close. Can I do a... I want to do, okay, I'm going to close this folder. I want to create and you can connect to, what is connect to? Oh, SSH or folder and container using dev containers. Ooh, I don't know I'd ever want to do that. I want to open a folder. I want to open a new folder. Let's see here. I want to go to GitHub. I'm going to say new folder. I'm going to call it, what would I want to do? So we were talking about Cobra, right? So let's Cobra test. Create and open. All right.
You have Go installed?
Who knows? Let's see. Go. Nope. But I can. Oh, that'll take too long.
Yeah, that will take a few minutes.
No, let's not do that.
And after that, you need to still configure
all the stuff.
Go path and what's not. It's like 15 minutes.
Okay, well, that's a bad idea. My one beef with it right now is it always defaults to Claude. Like, that's not what I mean, I appreciate that, but that's not what I want. And I guess I could modify the...
There must be settings somewhere.
Yeah, Windsurf. Let's see how many Windsurfs there are. Check for updates, diagnostics, generate, commit, import cursor. Okay, so it's cursor settings, import VS Code, log in, open shortcuts, purchase credits.
But, on the other hand, I would only assume that it's Claude because they tested different models and decided that works the best, at least in the context of what they're doing with Claude, right?
Probably. But they also provide their own model, the Cascade, because their whole thing is called Cascade. That's the name of their bot, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I'd prefer to have that as default. Just that way I'm not doing things. Let's see. Well, this was a bad idea. let's close this. Let's see, close folder. Let me see if I have anything else interesting in that directory. I mean, if you're used to using, I think all I have is just Jenkins plugins right now. Oh, I have Fabric. Am I up to date on that? Probably not. No, probably not.
Yeah, but again, without the Go
Well,
compiler, it won't be able to.
Yeah, but I wonder if it would see things that...
I mean, yeah, it probably kind of like doesn't care about the Go compiler to give you suggestions.
Yeah, let's do the
Wait,
Go extension.
how is that highlighted?
Oh, it can't find... Yeah, I can't do that. I meant to put Go on here and I forgot. I'll do that before next week, just to have it. Anyway.
It's fine.
Yep. Anyway, that's Windsurf. Again, for me, this one appears to be free. Like VS Code level free if you stick with the Cascade model.
You know, the real challenge, and this is going to sound silly from my side, is it takes a lot of effort to compare it and make a decision. Right? Kind of. So, what would it take? Let's make it a challenge, Darren. What would it take for you to say this is better than Copilot?
Well, I would first have to use Copilot.
Yeah.
Right. So let's assume that they're
even better,
comparable.
right? Kind of like
Yeah.
you haven't used either. I mean, my best guess is that I would need to work for a month. Because, you know, one example does not show anything.
Yeah.
I would need to adopt it really, use it, let's say for weeks, if not a month.
Yeah.
And then use the other one, and then, you know, then you start seeing.
I think that would be part of it. I think the other thing I would be, like, just going back to that null pointer example that we were sort of dragging through. I would need to take this exact same test case and compare it. Like, just first off, like, which one gets,
But
are they comparable
you know,
first?
I would be surprised that if you do it 3 times with this tool, same model, you will still not get 3 times the same outcome.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So kind of saying, hey, let me try null pointer here and there, it really depends on which of the random results you got from each.
Right.
That's why I'm saying kind of it's not that easy. Because you might be just lucky with one.
Well, so that's an interesting question, is I wonder how much context they keep. Like if I decided to do like what we were just doing, if I was working on that null pointer exception and I rejected the changes and then I did it again and I rejected it and did it again. Like I did it 3 times in a row. Would the third time still be aware of the second and first time right. Would I get the same? Because I might get the same based on the context window that they're using.
I mean, I don't know. I'm doubt that it would be the same based on the context because, hey, if you go to ChatGPT and type 3 times exactly the same the question, you get different results, right? But you're opening an important question, which I simply don't know, right? Is how capable, and I feel that this is more important for me, how capable those tools are learning from me. Right? I feel that that's more important than them being replacement for Stack Overflow, right? I want them ultimately to become kind of a person who is working closely with me, right? Because, you know, pair programming type of situation or a colleague that you have, right? It's very different when you work with a colleague for the first time and if you work with that person already for months, right? The dynamic is very different. You know each other. You kind of start complementing each other and so on and so forth, right? And start also establishing the baseline of how you work together. And that's probably my wishful thinking now.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to have to keep using it on a daily basis to figure out which is right. That's the part I don't know. I don't know that I have that much time to figure it out. But anyway, that's Windsurf. Interesting. But I guess, so based on what you saw with me doing in Windsurf, compared to what you've done with Copilot, anything major? Or is it comparable?
It looks the same.
Okay.
right? Again, I haven't compared it
Personally, right? Both
for
of them.
real. So
Yeah.
I cannot say, hey, this is giving me better overall results than the other. That I cannot say. But conceptually, they are the same, right?
Well, I mean,
And in general, there are three things you can do, right?
mhm.
You can start typing something and it starts finishing that something for you. That's the one that I use the most. I somehow never got used to really chatting with those things. But then, hey, highlight something and ask about it, right? Or the third one would be just, hey, here's the file, here's the whole project. Tell me, tell me this or that, right? So it depends on which level you're using. Probably all three. But I'm mostly into typing category, to be honest.
I haven't worked with GitHub Copilot yet. I'm assuming the default model is probably one of the OpenAI models.
I don't think that they let you choose or publicize what it is.
Which
It's
model
just
is? Okay.
them,
Okay.
right? But I'm just wildly guessing that it's somehow related with OpenAI, right?
Okay.
Because, it's Microsoft.
The reason why I was saying that is since Windsurf gives you the ability to use GPT-4o, I was curious. Again, I haven't looked at them. There's just too much. I mean, bottom line is if the tool works, just use it.
Yeah, but I'm making here a wild guess, completely uneducated guess, not based on absolutely anything, right? That Copilot, it's likely based on OpenAI, but I doubt that they're using the whole model, right? That would be very inefficient.
That's true.
Right?
And
because,
that's true.
whole model is very big and it contains the whole planet knowledge, while Copilot is really interested only in understanding what you're typing and how that relates to code or commands.
Okay. I think that's it for today.
That's okay.
It's okay. So next week we'll do, what was it called? I forgot the name of it. Oh, Gitxray. We'll do that against your repository.
Yeah.
Or your org. We'll see how it goes.
Let's sync before the stream to see what you need. I think
Well, and make sure I don't find anything too, right?
No. There is nothing to find there. Trust me. It's intentionally all open.
Yeah. And then the other thing we might do, I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. Was it A2? Not A2. Yeah, A2. I tried to get A2 running. I couldn't get it running.
What is A2?
Wasn't that that was the new agentic model? That was the...
Okay. Yeah, I know. The one that looks like comics or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
right.
one. Yeah, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it? Okay.
No.
I mean, I haven't tried it yet, so no idea.
All right. Romans, you as well. And we'll just go ahead and call it a day. Everybody have a great weekend. If you're in the U.S., Monday is a federal holiday, so many people may be off Monday. So that's good for Victor because a lot of his people he won't have to see Monday.
So Victor's happy when he doesn't have to see people, right?
Yeah, or if you're trying to get in touch with people, if you're in Europe trying to get anybody in the U.S. and they work under sort of a federal schedule like I do, we're off Monday. So that's how it goes. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again next week.